1. Introduction. My name is Betty. I am 26 years old. I work in a busy office in the city. My job is important and I work hard every day. My boss's name is Don. He is 34 years old. Don is a good boss. He is smart and always kind. He helps me learn new things. We work together very closely. Our desks are near each other, so we talk a lot during the day. We discuss work projects, but we also talk about other things. We share jokes and sometimes drink coffee together in the morning. Because we spend so much time together, our colleagues have a special name for me. They call me Don's work wife. At first, I thought it was funny. It means we have a strong professional bond. We understand each other well at work. If Don needs something, I usually know what it is before he asks. If I have a problem, he always listens. We are a good team, and everyone in the office can see that. I always thought of Don as a very good friend. He is like a big brother to me, someone I can trust and talk to about many things. However, lately, something has changed inside me. It is a small change, but it is there. When Don smiles at me, my heart feels a little warm. When he laughs at my jokes, I feel happy. These feelings are new, and I try to hide them. I do not want anyone to know, especially not Don. I know he is married. His wife's name is Alexa. I have never met her, but I know she is a part of his life. He sometimes talks about her. He wears a wedding ring on his finger. These things remind me that Don is not available. I tell myself that these feelings are just a mistake. They are not real. Don is my boss and my friend, nothing more. I try to push them away. I focus on my work. I tell myself that being his work wife is just a fun nickname, meaning we are good at our jobs together. It does not mean anything else. But sometimes, when Don looks at me with his kind eyes, I feel a small hope. This hope is very small, and I try to ignore it. It feels wrong to have these thoughts because Don is a married man. I want to be a good colleague and a good friend. I do not want to cause any problems. So I keep these new feelings hidden deep inside my heart. It is my secret. 2. My feelings. I try very hard to tell myself that Don is only my friend. This is what I say in my mind every morning, but my heart does not always listen. Every day, I wait for his voice. I wait for him to say, "Good morning, Betty." When I hear his words, a warm feeling spreads inside me. It is a quiet warmth, but it makes me happy. I look forward to this moment. It is a small thing, but it means a lot to me. When Don needs help with work, I always go quickly. I like to be near him. I like to hear him talk and laugh. Sometimes, at night, when I am in bed, I close my eyes. I see him in my thoughts. I dream about him. This makes me feel very guilty. I know he has a wife. Her name is Alexa. She is very beautiful, and she comes from a rich and strong family. She seems perfect. I feel that I cannot compare to her. He is her husband. Because of this, my dreams about Dawn feel very wrong. I keep them deep inside me. No one knows about them. But then, Dawn looks at me sometimes. His eyes are soft when they meet mine. There is something special in his look, something different from how he looks at other people. This gaze makes my heart beat very fast. It scares me a little because it makes me think things I should not think. It makes me hope for things that cannot be. But this special look also makes me feel a secret happiness. It is a feeling I want to keep. I want to hold it close. I try to push these thoughts away. I tell my mind to stop thinking about Dawn in this way. I tell myself it is not right, but it is very hard. My feelings are strong and they do not want to go away. I think about him often when I am working. I think about him when I am at home. He is in my thoughts too much. I know he is a married man. I know I should not feel this way about him. It is a big secret that I keep only for myself. Every day feels like a small fight inside my head. It is a fight between what I know is correct and what my heart truly feels. I wonder if he ever knows. If he looks into my eyes, can he read my secret feelings? I hope he cannot see them, but a very small part of me sometimes hopes he can. It is a strange feeling to want something you know you cannot have. My feelings are growing bigger every day. 3. The wife. One Friday, the office was not like other days. A woman walked in and all work stopped. It was Dawn's wife, Alexa. She was very beautiful. She wore a bright red dress that looked like fire. Her shoes were black and had high heels. Her dark hair was long. She walked with great confidence, like she owned the whole building. Everyone in the office turned to look at her. They stopped typing and talking. There was a quiet moment as she moved through the room. Alexa smiled first at Dawn. Her smile was wide and seemed happy. Then her eyes moved to me. The smile on her face changed. It became sharp, not kind. She looked around at the other women in the office. Her voice was clear and loud for everyone to hear. "Is this Betty?" she asked. "Is this the work wife I hear about?" My heart felt like it dropped to the floor. A cold feeling spread through my body. I wanted to disappear from there. She walked closer to my desk. Her eyes were fixed on me. She stood very tall. "Listen to me," she said. Her voice was firm and strong. "Stay away from my husband, do you understand?" My face felt very hot. My cheeks burned with shame. I tried to speak. "We are only friends, Alexa," I said. My voice was quiet and shaky. "There is nothing else between us." But she did not listen to my words. She did not believe me. Her voice grew louder. "Everyone knows about you too," she shouted. Her words echoed in the quiet office. "Stay away from Dawn." She said these words in front of everyone. All the colleagues were watching me. Their eyes felt heavy on me. I felt very small and helpless. The shame was too much to bear. It felt like a heavy blanket covering me. My eyes started to fill with tears. I could feel them ready to fall. I did not want anyone to see me cry. I could not stay there another second. I quickly pushed my chair back. I stood up and ran. I ran past the desks, past the staring faces. I ran to the women's bathroom. When I was inside, I locked the door. Then I let the tears come. I cried very hard. My body shook with each sob. I felt so ashamed. This was the worst day for a kind boss. Betty was still crying. She was in the small office bathroom. Her face felt hot and wet. The words Alexa said echoed in her mind. "Stay away from my husband." Betty felt so much shame. She wanted to disappear. She did not want to go back to her desk. Everyone had seen her cry. Everyone had heard Alexa's angry voice. She felt very small and alone in that moment. Then a soft knock came from the door. It was Don. His voice was quiet and gentle. "Betty, please open the door," he said. "Are you okay?" Betty hesitated. She did not want him to see her like this, but his voice was so kind. She slowly opened the door. Her eyes were red. Her cheeks were wet with tears. Don looked at her with much worry. His face was gentle and understanding. He stepped inside and closed the door softly behind him. He took her hand. His hand was warm and firm. "Betty," he said, "you did nothing wrong." His voice was clear and strong. Alexa was wrong. Her behavior was not good. It was not acceptable at all. Betty shook her head slowly. She tried to pull her hand away, but Don held it gently. "Everyone thinks I am trying to take you away from her," Betty whispered. Her voice was shaky and full of sadness. Don looked deeply into her eyes. His gaze was steady and reassuring. "Let them think what they want," he said. "I know the truth, Betty. You are my friend, a very good friend." He squeezed her hand a little. He did not let go. His hand stayed on hers for a long time. Betty felt her heart beat faster. It was a strange feeling inside her chest. Her mind was full of confusion. She knew he was married. She knew she should not feel this way. But his touch, his words, made her feel safe. They made her feel special, too. Don kept holding her hand. The silence in the small bathroom was deep. Outside, the office was quiet again after the noise. No one was shouting now, but Betty's feelings were loud inside her head. She felt a mix of things. She felt sad because of Alexa's words. She felt happy because Don was right there with her. She felt confused because his hand was still holding hers so gently. It was a kind touch. It was a friendly touch, but it also felt like something more. She did not understand these new, strong feelings that came with his comfort. Don's kindness was both a great comfort and a new, confusing problem for her heart. 5. The argument. That night, a very loud noise came from Don's home. It was an argument. Alexa's voice was clear and full of anger. She shouted many things at Don. Everyone could hear it, even through the walls. She accused Don of loving me, not her. Her words were sharp and full of pain. Don tried to defend himself. He shouted back, saying I was only his friend. He told Alexa that she could not hurt me, but Alexa was too angry to listen. She gave Don a hard choice. She cried, "Then choose, Don. It is me or her." After her strong demand, Don did not speak. He became completely silent. The loud argument stopped, leaving a heavy quietness in its place. The next morning, I woke up with a deep feeling of worry. My mind was full of thoughts about the fight. I hoped Don was safe. I hoped he was not too sad. When I arrived at the office, Don was not there. His office door was closed. His desk was empty. This was very unusual. Don was always the first person at work. He always greeted me with a friendly smile. Today, his absence made the office feel cold. My heart felt heavy with concern. I tried to do my tasks, but my thoughts kept going back to Don and Alexa. I imagined their difficult night. I wanted to call him. I wanted to hear his voice and know he was all right. But I felt I could not. It felt wrong to call him now. I felt like I was the reason for their big problem. Alexa's words, "You love her, not me," echoed in my head. This made me feel very guilty. It was not my fault directly, but I felt responsible for their unhappiness. I sat at my desk, looking at the computer screen, but I could not see the words. All I saw were images of Don looking sad and Alexa looking angry. The hours of the day moved very slowly. The office felt different without Don. It was too quiet, too serious. Everyone knew something was wrong. People spoke in low voices, but no one dared to say anything loud. Sometimes their eyes looked at me. I felt their stares. I knew they were thinking about Alexa's visit yesterday. They remembered her strong words. A growing fear filled me. I just wanted Don to be okay. I wanted him to come back to work. I needed to know what happened after Alexa's ultimatum. But all I could do was wait. Waiting was the hardest thing. 6 bad news. A week felt like a very long time. Every day without Don at work was difficult. The office felt quiet and strange. I worried about him constantly. Then, one morning, he came back. He walked into the office. His usual smile was gone. His face looked very tired. His eyes were dark, like he had not slept for many nights. His shoulders were bent. He looked like a different person. Seeing him made my stomach feel cold. I wanted to run to him, but I stayed in my chair. I just watched him. Later that day, Don sent a message to my computer. It said, "Betty, please come to my office." My heart started to beat fast. I felt a mix of fear and hope. What would he say? Was he okay? I walked slowly to his door. My hands felt cold. I knocked softly. Don said, "Come in." I opened the door. Don was sitting at his desk. He looked up at me. His eyes were still sad. He did not smile. He said, "Betty, I need to tell you something important." I sat in the chair in front of him. I waited. He took a deep breath. Alexa and I are over, he said. I asked for a divorce. My mouth opened, but no words came out. I felt a big shock. My mind went blank. Divorce? It was a very big word. I could not believe it. Don continued, his voice low. She hurt you, Betty. She shouted at you in front of everyone. She made you cry. I cannot be with someone who treats another person like that, especially not someone who treats you like that. He looked at me directly. It was not right. I cannot stay with a person who does such a thing. Tears started to fall from my eyes. I did not want them to, but they came. I felt so much guilt. Don, I said, my voice shaky, I never wanted this to happen. This is my fault. I am so sorry. I felt responsible for his pain, for his broken marriage. Alexa's words came back to my mind. Stay away from my husband. Now he was not her husband anymore. Don shook his head slowly. No, Betty, it is not your fault. Do not blame yourself. He looked at me with a kind but tired expression. This was not about you. It was about Alexa and me. It was about how she behaved. Our marriage was already difficult. Her actions last week just showed me that I could not continue. He tried to make me understand. He wanted me to stop feeling bad. I wiped my tears. The news was too big for me to fully understand. Don looked at me for a long time. Then he turned his head and looked out the window. The conversation was over. I stood up and left his office. My legs felt weak. The office still felt quiet, but now it was a different kind of quiet. A sad quiet. I walked back to my desk. My head was spinning. Don and Alexa were getting a divorce, and I felt like I was the reason. My world had changed in just a few minutes. I did not know what would happen next. 7. Office talk. The news about Don's divorce spread quickly through the office. People whispered in small groups near the water cooler. They talked by the coffee machine and in the hallways. Their eyes often looked at me. I heard some of their words. They said, "Betty is the reason." They said she broke up their marriage. They said she stole Don from his wife. My face felt hot with shame. My head felt heavy. I tried to walk with my eyes down, looking at the floor. I did not want to see their faces, but I felt like everyone was looking at me. They were judging me. It was a very bad feeling. Don saw how I felt. He knew the whispers were about me. He tried to stop them. He spoke to different people in the office. He told them, "Stop talking like this. Betty did nothing wrong. She is innocent." He said it loudly sometimes, so everyone could hear. He wanted to protect me from the unkind talk, but the whispers did not stop. They were like a soft, constant noise. It made my work hard. It made every day feel long. I started to think about leaving my job. I thought, maybe I should find a new office, a new place where people do not know me. I felt that I could not stay here much longer. The shame was too big. I imagined sending out my resume and starting fresh somewhere else. But then Don called me to his office. He looked at me with serious eyes. "Betty," he said. Are you okay? I shook my head slowly. The talk is too much, I told him honestly. He nodded. I know it is not fair to you. He paused for a moment. But please, Betty, do not leave. I truly need you here. His words surprised me again. He did not say he needed me as a friend, but for our work. He needed my help with projects. He needed my support in the office. I felt a mix of feelings inside. Part of me wanted to run away from the gossip, but another part of me wanted to stay close to him. I knew it would be difficult to stay here. People would continue to talk, but Don asked me directly. He said he needed me, and I knew I could not say no to him, so I chose to stay. My heart felt heavy, but I made my choice. 8. What now? Months turned into many months. The leaves changed outside the office windows, first green, then yellow, then brown. Don was now a free man. His divorce from Alexa was final. Everyone knew it. But still, nothing changed between Don and me. Not in the way I secretly hoped. We still worked together every day. Our desks were close, just like always. We still had our morning coffee, sharing quiet sips. We still ate lunch together in the break room, talking about tasks and small happenings. We even laughed sometimes, like old friends who knew each other well. But something was different. A quiet sadness hung in the air around us, like a soft cloud that never quite went away. It was not loud, but it was always there, a silent reminder of what had happened and what had not. I often looked at Don. He looked better now than when he first returned after the fight. His eyes were not so dark, but the happy light I remembered from before was not fully back. He was kind always. He was still my boss and my good friend. Yet the unspoken question was always between us. What now? Sometimes his hand would accidentally touch mine when we reached for a document, or his arm would brush against mine when we walked side by side. In those small moments, I felt a familiar warmth, a little spark. It was the same feeling I had when he held my hand after Alexa shouted at me. It was the old fire that still burned. It was a feeling that said, maybe. But then the moment would pass. We never spoke about it. We never crossed that invisible line. The other people in the office still called me Don's work wife. They said it with a smile or sometimes with a knowing look. Before, the name made me feel ashamed or happy, depending on the day. Now it just made me wonder. Was that all I would ever be? His work wife? A close friend, a trusted colleague, but nothing more? I thought about the past, about my secret feelings, about Alexa's anger, about the divorce. It all felt like a long dream. Don had chosen to leave Alexa because of how she treated me. That meant something, I thought, but what exactly? I wanted to ask him. I wanted to say, Don, what about us? Will we ever be more? But the words never came out. Fear held them back, a strong hand on my mouth. Fear of ruining what we had, this comfortable friendship. Fear of hearing an answer I did not want to hear, an answer that would close the door forever. So, we stayed in our safe place, in our friendly routine, day after day. Every day I hoped for a change. Every night I wondered, would we stay just friends forever, or would one day something new begin? The future was a big, open book. I did not know what the next page held. For now, I was Betty, Dawn's work wife, and we were still just friends. It was a simple truth, but it carried a heavy question.